Ange Postecoglou simply has to stay at Spurs. Remember less than 2 weeks ago? Sambina Mina, hey, hey, waka, waka, hey, hey, 17, but I don't know how. We won it in Bilbao. And coming to the timeline yesterday and seeing all the rumors flying about that Ange is looking like he's going to go. Me personally, I think if Daniel Levy sacks Ange Postecoglou, that could be the biggest mistake he's made in his whole tenure at Tottenham Hotspur. And I know that's going to sound like a very, very crazy statement, but I believe personally that it is impossible. And obviously, I'm going to hold my hands up. Yeah, I've been an Ange in fan probably more than most, but obviously, when he done the ear cupping thing at Chelsea, that's what sort of the one thing that threw me off of him, and I thought it couldn't happen. But I've been an Ange fan, and the fact that at the start of the season he told the whole world after a loss that I always win something in my second season. Now, let's be honest, even me, the biggest Ange backer, when he said that, said, you can't say that as a Tottenham Hotspur manager. And that was me genuinely believing that that was a crazy statement to stay in because we do not win trophies. And I highly doubt that there was any Spurs fans that didn't feel exactly the same way as me. But the fact that he said that and put all that pressure on himself and delivered the one thing that we've been asking for so many managers. Let's go back to the best manager in recent history, or let's say the best manager in Premier League era is Maurizio Pochettino. And Maurizio Pochettino couldn't do that. Then you're looking at times under maybe Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp couldn't do that. Antonio Conte obviously was there for maybe his first season when he came in to replace Nuno when he got top four. But that's what I'm saying. In terms of Premier League era, none of the best managers in Tottenham history have been able to deliver a trophy. And Ange Postecoglou, who had to come in, let's not forget, when he came in his first season, on the backdrop of we lost Harry Kane, massive rebuild. We just gone through the Conte cycle, the failed Conte cycle, after the failed Mourinho cycle, after the failed Nuno cycle, after the horrible breakup with Maurizio Pochettino, and then we arrive on Ange, losing the greatest player in Tottenham. Obviously I can't say that because I'm not old enough to say the greatest player in Tottenham history. But I'm gonna say throughout my lifetime, Ange lost the greatest player in Tottenham's history, and as Ange says as well, a man that guarantees you European football. You can't knock him, man. Like, let's look at the job he had to do. It's an absolute massive job. Loads of big experienced players leaving as well. And obviously, yes, last season we do get blinded by the first 10 games, but let's not forget them first 10 games. We were absolutely flying before the injuries came in. And yeah, I'm not going to be one of them fans that comes on and just cries about injuries all the time because every team has injuries. And I have no doubt that next season we're going to get injuries anyway. So that issue does need to be sorted. But if you look at the injuries we had this season, mental amount of injuries. Our goalkeeper, like, even if you think about it, when was the last time we had a goalkeeper out for such a long time? I'm thinking, as in, I'm talking first choice goalkeeper anyway. Maybe Hugo Lloris. Remember when he didn't snap his elbow. Remember he'd done his elbow at Brighton under Poch, and what did he miss? A big chunk of the season. Do we have to rely on Gazaniga that season? I think, but it's only. Sorry, I keep on scratching my eye. My eyes are well itchy. Yeah, if you think about that, it's only that time that I can think of in recent history. Obviously, there's a couple of times Hugo got sent off and Michel Vorm and stuff had to come in for him, but still, let's be honest. Even down from the keeper being out, which is a massive anomaly, both are two best centre backs. Which, yes, is starting to prove now that maybe we need to look at different options because they haven't been proven to be able to maintain a whole season fit. But we've lost Van der Ven and Romero, who let's not kid anyone. When them two play, they are unbelievable. If we could have them fit, like, they do make a team way much better. And then we just look around the whole of pitch as well. Don't have in obviously And you just look at the system as well. Like, there's so many things that I just think is a case for Ange to stay, because the system that we play, yes, you might argue that it's so gung ho, but there's going to have to be a way. He will find a compromise. I don't believe Ange is stupid enough to finish 17th this season and say, yeah, I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. Like, let's take the European example. And everyone wants to use the things to say, oh, it's not a strong tournament. We beat all the teams that we should have beat. But when we beat Frankfurt, before going into that Frankfurt game, everyone was saying, oh, Frankfurt away is tough. They're third or whatever they were in the Bundesliga. Hugo Ekitike is on fire. Tottenham got no match for them. Absolutely handled them. Like, obviously, first leg, yes, we got a draw, but we dominated them for that whole game in the first leg. And then the second leg, yes, we done the new tactic where Ange gets one goal up, which he can show that he can score goals because we know that, and then just sit back, and these lot can't get past us. And yeah, that works very well in Europe. Talking about the Bodo Glimt game, how many people wrote us off, even though we won 3-1 at the first leg? They said, oh, that goal is tricky. That gave them a boost. Going over there on the 3G pitch, they're going to struggle. They didn't score. They didn't lay a glove on us. They always scored at home. We just handled them. So Ange shows, like, people want to take away the credit for Ange for them, but you have to look at the tactics in Europe to say that he's obviously realized that he can't just play the gun ho thing. I know he's saying, yeah, European tournaments are different, but I just think he's got another layer, and I don't believe you can sack him when he's proven that. Bought the trophy, as I said, first European trophy in 41 years, and first trophy for us in 17 years. So for my age, throughout my lifetime, I've only seen 2008, and I was too young to celebrate it anyway. So the fact that I was old enough to be in that San Mamés Stadium in Bilbao and witness that, like, I've never, come on, look at the amount of Spurs games I've gone to, and this is the first time I've witnessed us winning a trophy. Like, I just don't think, honestly, I don't think you can sack him. And then even if you look at the replacement managers, they're saying Thomas Frank and Marco Silva. Like, with all due respect to them guys, yes, I know they've been in the Premier League a long time. They've got caps under their belt. They've got big scouts in the Premier League, but they're just not names that excite me anyway. Like, is it really worth sacking the man that has? Yes, we are 17th this season, and I do appreciate that. But I also want to add to that caveat that if the three teams at the bottom of the league weren't as awful as they have been this season, then Spurs would have obviously tried harder, because what, in January, February, it's confirmed them three were basically all down anyway. So you don't have to worry about the league because you're not going to get relegated. And obviously, we have a team that we can't keep fit, so why don't we just keep them fit for the Europa League and win the Europa League? And obviously, yes, it was a big gamble, but is it a big gamble when it pays off? No, it's not. European trophy, that can't be scoffed at. Like, regard Tottenham Hotspur and trophies, and then you go back to, a lot of people want to use the Man United example, but it's nothing like the Man United example, because they say Man United kept Eric Ten Hag because of 100 minutes of football. Blah blah. But Man United win trophies anyway. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like, with all, like, 10, like, he didn't do anything special. Winning a trophy at Man United is what, you know what I'm saying? There's bare comparisons to that, which we won't even get into, but Tottenham do not win trophies. As we said, Jose, Poch, Conte, Nuno. Obviously, Nuno won the cup in Saudi, so let's give him his props. Harry Redknapp. You know what I mean? Like, we don't win trophies. And now you've got a manager that's come in and told the whole world, I'm going to win a trophy this season, and then won the trophy this season. And it's just nothing like the Man United comparison. And if you add in the Man United comparison, they sacked Ten Hag and have got worse. So the new manager they brought in has not made them better. So it's not even a right example, because what does that mean? We're going to sack Ange and then bring in a manager that's going to make us worse? Makes zero sense at all. So I think Ange has to be given the summer window. We're already behind anyway, because you see teams like City. Obviously, I know we're not going to be competing with these teams, but everyone says they want to win the Premier League at Tottenham Hotspur eventually. So you're seeing teams like Liverpool, you're seeing teams like Man City, teams like Chelsea, just cracking on with the recruitment, because ready for next season. And Tottenham are fiddling about trying to work out if the manager's staying or going. it's just not a good look. And the players absolutely love Ange as well. There's no one that can say that. You hear the way the players talk about him. I just don't think, like, you can tell when things are fake. Like, if they didn't like the manager, it would be all, oh yeah, I'm just here to do my job, and whoever the manager's going to be, I'm always going to give him 100. You know, they say all that media malarkey, but the words they say about Ange, you can tell the players love him so much. Even players like, I go back to Regulon. Remember at the San Mamés Stadium holding up the banner about I always win trophies. That Regulon has not had a sniff all season. Had played what, a handful of games, and still obviously respects the manager enough to say, I'm going to be here to celebrate the fact that this guy's done this at the club. And you can just tell the players absolutely love him. If they did not back him, they would not run through the walls in the European games. They wouldn't talk so highly of the manager as well. And I think that's a huge thing. And if we lose Ange and then stuff like, then I think Romero leaves. We've seen the Bentancur talks about the contract. Obviously, he's going to want to know who the next manager is. I don't think Ange leaving is crucial to Bentancur leaving, but the new manager might, because he might look at what we're bringing in a Brentford manager that's never managed in Europe, or we're bringing in a Fulham manager that, well, I don't believe Marco Silva's managed in Europe anyway, but if he has in one of his previous clubs, let me know. But, or we're going to bring in another guy that's not done it. Do you know what I mean? We've got a winner, a guy that came in and told us we're going to be a winner. We know how motivational Postecoglou is as well. And we're going to replace him with an any man that finished, I believe Fulham and thing finished 9th and 10th in the league. Oh, no, sorry, 10th and 11th in the league. Like, what are we doing here? If obviously, I know this is going to be a very big sort of contradiction because I'm saying, what about managers there? But I would take an Oliver Glasner because he's proven at European level that he can win trophies. So Oliver Glasner, if that was a replacement, I'd take someone like that because I think you can tell it to the players. Look, this guy's coming at Crystal Palace and won not straight away because obviously he came in last season, but you know what I mean, like a club that doesn't win trophies at all and gonna won the FA Cup after in like the first major trophy in their history, and you see back to his time at Frankfurt where he won the Europa League. So I think you could sell that to the players, but I just don't see how you can sell Thomas Frank or Marco Silva to the players. Yes, as I say, I respect their good managers and I know the players will respect it, but I just think it gives me a bit of Nuno vibes because if anything, Nuno's Wolves were better than Brentford and Fulham, and Nuno did not work at Tottenham at all. And also, we've got Ange that, let's be honest, a lot of fans have done a U-turn now because there's a lot of guys that I sit with near at Spurs that were Ange out, and now they're saying you can't sack him. So many fans are now behind Ange. So if you were to then sack Ange to bring in Marco Silva or Thomas Frank, I'm sorry, the fans just aren't going to be behind it. So they're already on the back foot. You lose 3 to 5 of your first 10 games, then boy, it's not looking good at all. So me personally, you cannot sack Ange. You cannot sack Ange, and I'm going to stand on that. And I'm going to hope that Daniel Levy makes the right decision and keeps him, backs him, because the team needs reinforcements anyway. What are you going to do? Bring in Thomas Frank and then bring in a load of 18-year-olds again? Yeah, because that's going to make a difference anyway. So you cannot sack Ange. We have to go with him to the next season. We're going to have to back him in a transfer window as well. And or else Spurs are going to be in some. There's going to be big problems. Trust me, because the Levy out noise is just going to get even louder. Because I think it's going to look like, well, you've gone against us, so the fans. We finally got what we wanted, and all you care about is money. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got us in. We're playing Champions League football next season, and you really want to go into the Champions League with a manager that's never been in the Champions League before? Get out of here, man. But let me know in the comments what you think as well. Am I deluded? Like, does Ange need to be sacked? Obviously 17th is not good enough, but like, am I overlooking that too much? Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll be back as well. Obviously, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all of that because, yeah, we're going to be making a lot more of these Tottenham videos as well. Transfer windows open, Club World Cup's coming. I know we're not in it, but why not? Why not watch it? Because I'm starting to get a bit excited about it because it looks like the teams are taking it serious. But as I said, we'll be back for plenty more football chat. Peace and love.